right, good morning to you on this Wednesday morning. Oh man, we've dealt with the rain, but it's finally pushing out the way.
Yes.
So we've got some top stories that we got to get you caught up on.
Yeah, a lot going on today. Very busy day. We got 5 stories for you. We will jump right in with FEMA opening that disaster recovery center. Who could forget when those storms rolled through? So much damage. Here on your screen, if you look at it, I mean, it's unbelievable that happened in no time. I mean, a span of hours, right?
And we know that a lot of people, you know, our First Alert Weather team, obviously we did first alert the public about this, but still when it came, it just, I mean, it tore through this place. So we want to tell you about this FEMA Disaster Recovery Center that has now officially opened in Spalding County. Is going to provide one-on-one assistance to people directly affected by that weather that just came through there just a couple weeks ago. So here's the thing, if you know someone that needs help, maybe you need help yourself, you can head over to see those recovery specialists, and that center is set up at the Spalding County Senior Center on Memorial Drive. It opened about 8 o'clock this morning, and it's going to go until 6 p.m. So be sure to check that out if you need help.
Yeah, I think I've covered a lot of different weather events over the course of my time as a journalist, and I think initially people don't know what to do.
Oh no!
You know what I mean? Like, would you know what to do if your house was just, you know, destroyed overnight? It's hard. So I really hope people take advantage of that, and I'm glad they're doing that. Okay. This is the story that it just blows my mind. We now know at least what they look like, okay? The pictures, you got the wrong super going up. There we go.
There we go, all right.
These are the 2 people who are wanted for questioning in response to those arsons, okay? The 2 Walmarts and the Target. The man on the right side of your screen is connected to the fire in the Target on Piedmont Road. The man on the left side of your screen connected to the fires at Walmart on MLK Drive and on Howell Mill Road. And allegedly, supposedly, reportedly, the suspects started the fires because they wanted to start a distraction while they shoplifted items. Now, again, it's a major inconvenience. I go to this Walmart. So if you go to this Walmart, if you go to this Target, you are also like, wow, this, who, why, you know?
And you know, I asked this question when we were first reporting on this. I said, they're trying to find a motive of why somebody would do something like this. And the first thing that I asked, these people who are running out the stores, do they have items in their hands? And it makes you wonder. Now, of course, you've got a lot of people who would always do the right things, but then there are going to be some who take advantage of an opportunity like that. And it's apparent, according to investigators, that these arsonists might have been after that to make out with some stuff.
First of all, you shouldn't steal regardless.
Right.
But my thing is, you could attempt to just steal without setting a fire. I mean, you'd probably get caught.
They were
Look
gonna
at
get
them.
caught.
We have their pictures now. They're the suspects' pictures now. We don't, you know, they haven't been identified. They're still just the suspects. But here's the irony in the situation. They did it, allegedly, so they could steal information. But now if you can help identify who did it, you could get paid $10,000, at least up to $10,000. That's information that leads to an arrest. Again, either one of these men really inconvenienced a lot of people around the city.
Yeah, because people now, unfortunately, have to go miles just to get, you know, we've been saying that it's created a food desert, a medicine desert, because people, depending on those pharmacies there at some of those stores, they depended on that store to get their groceries and stuff. So it's really just a bad situation all around, but hopefully investigators will be able to track them down.
Not only that, the Howell Mill Road store is not reopening, so that's
permanently
just gone.
Closed.
So
permanently.
I hope somebody does catch them.
And for what? And for what? Okay, another story that we have got to tell you guys about. We actually brought it to you as breaking news yesterday on Atlanta News First, talking about this plane that made an emergency landing on Interstate 985. So this morning, we can tell you that the FAA is expected to learn a little bit more after that plane made that landing. It went down near Woodward Mill Road, near Beaufort. After taking off from the Gwinnett County Airport, which is in Lawrenceville. Now that plane, we can tell you right now, obviously it's been moved off the roadways, but it is in a parking lot because crews had to get it moved. Here's what we know so far. This was a single-engine Piper PA-28, and it was in the air nearly an hour before it had to make that emergency landing, a hard landing, I should say, there on the freeway. Officials telling us that there were 2 people who were in the flight at the time, but thankfully, no one was hurt.
I just imagine what it must have been like, watching that plane come towards you if you were on the road in that area, and B, what it must have been like for the people on the plane coming towards the road.
So in social media, I actually saw a picture from a viewer, who it was her husband who happened to be like right before the plane and was the first car after
Wow.
traffic came to a stop. And I said, oh man,
Right.
like you'd be like, thank the Lord,
What-
because that could have gone another way.
Right. What am I
Oh,
going to
my
do?
goodness.
Where do I go?
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you said this or not, but nobody was hurt here.
Yeah, thankfully
this
nobody
is-
was hurt, yeah.
Right. This is just one of those situations where you can not laugh about it, but say, whew, wow, we dodged
Yeah,
a bullet.
you're just really thankful
Yeah.
and definitely grateful, because we understand that we cover a lot of stories like this, and unfortunately they don't always have that good ending.
Right.
This one, thankfully, it did.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, how is your internet bill looking these days? Mine is a little disrespectful.
Okay.
So this kind of makes me angry. I don't know about you guys. Right now, Americans are paying an average of $75 a month for internet. Mine's a little bit higher
And that's
than that.
internet alone,
Correct.
by the way.
Mine's,
That's
I
internet
think mine's
alone.
like $80.
Okay, that's not too bad. That's just up just a little bit.
I'm still mad about it, but here's what's supposed to make you mad. Okay, a closer look at more than 22,000 bills from all 50 states. Okay, so us too. A lot of providers are keeping bills high with so-called junk fees. They are legal fees, but experts say they're not ethical and they're really just used to pad profits. So for me, you really don't have to charge me this much, and you're doing it anyway? Wow. Now, they're especially high when there aren't a lot of choices for providers. So, if you just have AT&T over there and not, your Comcast
Xfinity
or
and everything,
Xfinity,
yeah.
all that, then you're
Yeah.
really going to be paying some money. But, yeah, I think that is so disrespectful.
And you know what's interesting too? We can't forget about this. So typically every year you have these internet providers and these cable providers that crank up, the price every year.
Right.
And it's just expected these days.
Right.
But you've got to pay attention to your bill, because sometimes for the new year they know you expect that things are going to increase the price, so they say, let me sneak a little fee in there, and you probably wouldn't think. You just automatically assume, they're just
Okay.
going up because
I
it's
guess
a
I
new
have
year,
to.
inflation, whatever it may be. But this is why you always have to check that bill 2, 3, 4, 5 times.
But even if you did, what are you going to do about it? The fees are legal, other than maybe trying to figure out
you
a
can.
switch.
Unless
Maybe you
you-
go
right.
from the AT&T
And
to
sometimes you
Xfinity
do.
or vice versa. But
And sometimes when you have those conversations when the bill isn't right or
Right.
the bill seems a little off, they do what they got to do to keep you as a customer. So
That's
sometimes
true.
you can get yourself. It's a little pro tip for you. Don't say I didn't hurt you, helped you with something, okay? So Lana,
yes,
favorite go-to snack if you had to pick one?
that's hard. Oh, remember when you guys asked me my favorite cookie and I gave you about 12 of them?
Yeah, we just
How
want
about you
one.
ask that one?
Okay.
I love a good soft snickerdoodle cookie.
Okay. So Oreos, you a fan of Oreos?
I enjoyed
Oh, something.
Oreos when I was a kid, especially. Yeah.
So have you heard the saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it?
Who hasn't?
I think we've heard that,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So we're now going to see what cookie lovers have to say about this new treat. So Oreo releasing this new stuffed cookie that is stuffed with itself.
Correct.
So you see this here, it's called the Most Oreo, and literally it's an Oreo inside of an Oreo. So you got your usual chocolate on the outside.
Yeah.
Your cookies and your cream mix on the inside. And I mean, I guess the name is fitting because that's a lot of Oreo.
I'm trying to wrap my mind around this because the cream itself is already good. You could scrape
course,
the cream
of
out,
course.
eat it by yourself. That's how I used to do it. Take the cream out and then just kind of chuck the cookie part to the side.
Okay.
So I'm wondering if that tastes any different. Like if it's the same
No,
formula with
it's
just a
gotta be
little
the
pieces,
same. It's
or
just extra.
but do you know that?
I
Have you
don't know
had
that.
one?
I'm just assuming. It's got to be the same thing because I mean, it's just saying it's an Oreo inside of an Oreo.
It
So
looks like a
meaning
double
It's
stuffed-
double,
Right,
exactly.
a double stuffed Oreoed Oreo.
And which people have been doing that for years.
Yeah.
But now they just make a pack that agrees with what people have been doing.
Right. I
Quite
wonder how much it
simple.
costs. Did you look that up?
No,
You
it's a
sure
good question.
didn't.
I'm not an Oreo person, so I don't need to know. Don't you worry, okay?
Yeah. Okay. Well, what was your favorite cookie then?
So I'm more of a cake person, not so much of a cookie person. I
Oh,
like
okay.
oatmeal raisin cookies, which I know y'all are judging me by saying that, but
Oh, we are, 'cause those are
No,
nasty.
they are wonderful.
Wow.
Macadamia
Okay.
nut cookies.
I
all
also
that.
heard something about they have on the packaging something that will help you, something you can go to in the metaverse based off of
Really?
this cookie. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, you're welcome.
And that might be that little QR code that we see there at the bottom. I wonder if that has something to do
that
with it.
tweet that was rolling around. If you guys paid any attention to that, that's kind of had that information on there. So hey, if you're a metaverse kind of a person, why don't you join the metaverse of Oreos? The Oreos of metaverses.
Or just stick to your oatmeal raisin cookies if you're like me.
Nobody.
Nobody's
Whose
gonna do
favorite
that.
cookie? That should have been the poll for the
Nobody's
day.
gonna do
Who
that.
actually likes? Whose favorite cookie is oatmeal raisin? This is a perfect time to bring in Courtney
Come on,
Jacobazzi.
Courtney, please, and
Because
set the record straight
also
for the
gonna say
people
my
if
height
you
difference
don't
is
mind.
there is no
Oh, good,
record
okay.
that anybody has that involves oatmeal raisin, the top favorite cookie of all time.
I wouldn't say that's my top favorite cookie of all time, but I would say that I will say that I enjoy an oatmeal raisin cookie. So,
You like oatmeal raisin cookies?
yeah.
I hate oatmeal
I
raisin
love,
cookies.
but I'll tell you what though.
Hate
Snickerdoodle
is a strong
cookies-
word now.
Yeah, hate is a strong word, but I will say if you had to rank cookies, Snickerdoodle is above oatmeal raisin.
Right.
But I
Okay.
would say-
think that's fair.
Gosh, I don't know what my favorite cookie is. Like, I feel like I love cookies. Like, that I'll tell y'all all the time.
Right.
When there's food up in this building.
Right.
If it's a donut, I can pass it up.
Yeah, thank
if
you.
it's a piece of cake, I can pass that up.
Yeah.
But if there's a cookie in this building, I'm not passing it up.
So you've
at
got
all.
Snickerdoodle, you've got sugar cookies, you've got like chocolate chip, double chocolate, you know, like a chocolate
Right,
ones.
okay.
You've got like M&M, you got oatmeal raisin. You've
I cannot
got
believe y'all
white
are going in
chocolate
on these
macadamia,
cookies
those are
like
good.
this.
Who?
The white chocolate macadamia nut
Ooh,
cookies, but I will
white-
tell
yes,
you,
those are good.
I think my favorite, there's these little mini ones at Publix. This is not a paid advertisement for Publix now, but they got the little mini ones that are just the right size at Publix, and they are chocolate chip pecan cookies. And I
Ooh, that does
love a
sound
cookie.
good.
I love pecans a lot. Pecan,
Come
pecan, however
on,
you say it.
You in the South, so
And so, yeah, the chocolate chip pecan cookies from Publix, yeah, those are really good. If you haven't tried them, give them a try.
Now
Again,
what-
this is not a paid advertisement for Publix, but
what's going to be the best cookie to have with this weather today? Now that
Ooh.
now that the rain is finally out of the way, we're going to see any sunshine, or we just
Yeah.
holding on to a little hope today?
we'll see some peaks of sunshine today. We're going to talk about the forecast. I mean, just whatever floats your boat cookie-wise. It's always a good day to eat a cookie, no matter what you like, even if it is oatmeal raisin. Let's not judge Brooks too hard, okay? Oatmeal raisin cookies are pretty good. I love the cinnamon flavor of oatmeal raisin cookies. All right, which is probably why I like Snickerdoodles too. All right, away from the cookie topic, it's a pretty dreary look out there. Let's make a hard shift into weather, shall we? You're looking over Centennial Olympic Park. So, yeah, pretty dreary look, but we will see some clearing of skies once this monster of a weather system rolls out of the way. I guess I didn't say hello to everybody. Hi. I am First Alert Meteorologist Courtney Jacobazzi. Thanks for joining us. We had a bit of a rough morning. The rain out there caused a lot of problems on the roadways. We had multiple crashes that shut down the interstate. Y'all know how it goes here when it rains in Atlanta. It gets messy out there, but thankfully most of the rain has moved out. But now we're going to look ahead to a very windy afternoon, and colder air is going to start to spill in. So we got lots to talk about. And again, it is thanks to this monster of a weather system that is just taking over hundreds of miles of the lower 48 states, bringing winter storm conditions to parts of the Great Lakes region, bringing rain and even the potential for severe weather across the Atlantic coast and the Gulf Coast. Notice down near Jacksonville, there's a severe thunderstorm warning, all those little bolts of lightning there and that yellow polygon, that's a severe thunderstorm warning. For us, we're pretty much done with everything. We are going to still have the cloud cover, maybe a few lingering showers to roll in, but for the most part, all of our heavy rain is done. That's now pushing through central Georgia and will ultimately make it towards the Georgia coast over the next couple of hours. This was a very fast-moving system, so thankfully we've been very active in our weather pattern. Thankfully this didn't linger, because the longer storm systems like this linger, the more you have to worry about a flooding and flash flooding threat. Thankfully that was not the case for us. Moved in and moved out very quickly. Now we just have a few light showers left up towards LJ, over in Cherokee County, moving into Canton. We had a quick shower roll through Carroll County as well, and most of us are just dealing with the cloud cover as of right now. As that front continues to push out, skies will start to clear as an area of high pressure filters in, and ultimately what's going to happen is that cold front, that's an area of lower pressure, and then that area of high pressure, they're going to battle each other, and pressure difference creates wind. So as we have that very strong front move out, we have the area of high pressure move in, it's going to just create a very windy afternoon. In fact, we have a wind advisory that will stay in effect until midnight. For wind gusts upwards of 40 miles per hour, I think we'll generally sit in the 30 to 35 range, but just expect a very blustery afternoon once that front passes. So 60 right now. We're actually almost at our warmest part of the day. We'll maybe warm for another hour or so, and then we will start to cool down. So when we normally hit our high temperature around 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we're actually going to be cooling down through the rest of the afternoon. South-southwest wind at 10 miles per hour. So there's that indication that the physical front has hasn't passed yet. Wind will shift out of the northwest once that front passes. So while the rain is out of the way, all that rain was out ahead of the physical boundary of the front. So the northwest wind will indicate that passage of the front, and then ultimately that cool air will usher in and the wind will start to pick up. So 60 degrees with winds at 10 miles per hour right now in the city of Atlanta. Good morning, Carlston. It is still morning, right? 11:23, yes. So as we go through the day today, maybe a couple of stray showers through this 11 o'clock hour here, and then as we head into the afternoon, we will see peaks of sunshine that will happen, so it won't just be overcast, cloudy, dismal skies the whole day. But notice, again, we're pretty much at our high temperature right now. Temperatures, when we normally will be warming, will actually be cooling. We'll be in the low 50s by 5, and then we'll dip into the 40s by your dinner time around 7 o'clock. And so it's going to be a very cold evening. You pair that with the wind, that again will continue. We'll experience wind anywhere between 10 to 20 miles per hour, or 10 to 15 miles per hour sustained. That more constant wind you'll notice, with those gusts or those bursts of wind anywhere between 20 to 35 miles per hour, maybe isolated gusts as high as 40. Earlier today up in Murray County, we had a wind gust of 47 miles per hour, which is tropical storm force. Tropical storm force threshold is 39 miles per hour. So a very blustery morning. We're getting a little bit of a break right now, but expect that wind to ramp back up this afternoon. Overnight lows, so tomorrow morning you're going to notice it is going to be very, very cold out there. 37 degrees with the wind. It's going to feel even colder. So as the kids are heading to the bus stop tomorrow, as you're walking out the door for work tomorrow, you really need to have the coat with you, maybe the hat, something to cover your ears, because it's just going to be so cold, and that wind is just going to make it feel very uncomfortable out there. So prepare for that. We do have the first alert because of the wind and the cold tomorrow. The wind is going to make it struggle to feel warmer than the 30s and low 40s tomorrow. It's going to be really, really chilly. So just keep that coat handy with you. You'll need to trade the umbrella for the coat tomorrow. So something else to talk about, not only are we going to be very cold and windy, but what's going to happen is we kind of got lucky with where this whole system set up. I was talking to Ella and Rodney about this morning. If that weather system, the center of circulation, would have went maybe 100 miles further south, we probably would have dealt with some sort of winter weather because the cold air is going to spill in really fast, and we're actually going to pull in enough moisture to have some wraparound moisture around that low and offer us the chance for a few flurries. But if that track shifted any further south, we would have been talking a completely different story. Again, like I mentioned, up in the Great Lakes region, which is typical for them, they have winter storm conditions right now. And if you saw Texas, up in the panhandle of Texas, they got a lot of snow. Texas was wild yesterday, okay? This system's just a monster. It brought snow to the panhandle of Texas and severe weather to the Houston area. It was, no matter where you lived in Texas, made a huge difference in how the weather was. It was crazy. But anyway, so we're going to have enough wraparound moisture to, one, have some cloud cover tomorrow, and also maybe a few flurries in the higher elevations of the North Georgia mountains. So if you live up towards Fannin County, up towards Towns County, Union County, maybe you're in the Blue Ridge area, if you see a couple of nice snowflakes flying around, don't be concerned or alarmed. We are letting you know. So as early as late tonight, maybe a few flurries, and we could have some flurries flying around even into tomorrow afternoon, as temperatures will be dropping tomorrow morning, and then potentially we could be cold enough, especially again in the higher elevations, to have a few flurries. Not expecting any kind of accumulation though. Here's a look at that wind advisory for the day today. Again, this expires at midnight. Wind gusts upwards of 40 miles per hour possible. I do think we're going to be more in that 25 to 35 mile per hour range, but wind gusts upwards of 40 still possible. Of course, not much of a difference between 35 and 40, right? It's going to be blustery out there today. We were talking about this earlier too. We had a great graphic. I didn't put it in here, and I should have. Of if it was trash day for you today, that is just an issue, because your trash can, you might be going on a scavenger hunt a little later today with all the wind. So as we go through the afternoon, do expect again that wind to pick up, especially as that front passes. We are going to start to have wind gusts be higher. So by 5 o'clock, you're headed home from work tonight. Wind gusts could be anywhere between 20 to 30 miles per hour, maybe isolated gusts higher than that as well. And we'll stay windy even into the evening and tomorrow morning, so that's why it's going to feel colder than it actually is tomorrow. So while we'll wake up physically in the 30s, it's going to feel even colder tomorrow. Now we'll stay dry for pretty much the rest of the week, Thursday, Friday, with the exception of a few flurries. Again, maybe a couple wraparound showers tomorrow, but that's really going to do it. Then we'll stay dry Saturday. Clouds will build Saturday. Sunday is our next first alert, mainly for the evening hours. We'll have another weather system approach, bring us more widespread rain. It looks like all the heavy rain with this will stay to our south, but we could have some steadier showers. And then as we head into Monday, mainly dry, another weather system moves in Tuesday. So we're getting a couple of days break from the rain, but our active weather pattern looks to continue into the start of February. So, which is good to not start the year in a drought, especially as we head closer to the spring months. You want the ground to have plenty of moisture for our growing season. But of course, keeping in this active pattern, it makes it difficult to be able to run all your errands and travel easy, and we don't ever want to have to worry about flash flooding or trees falling over, anything like that. When you have a really saturated ground, of course, that poses a little bit more of a threat for flooding and trees falling when you have the wind come through. But again, just a first alert because it does look like we'll have more widespread rain chances. Now that Sunday first alert, by the way, depending on the timing, we might drop that. So if the rain looks like it's going to move in late in the evening when most of you are home and kind of calling it a night, getting ready for the next work week, we might drop that first alert. Models have been a little wishy-washy when it comes to the timing. Some are keeping it during the hustle and bustle of Sunday, others bringing it in later in the evening. So we're going to keep that first alert for now, but if the rain continues to trend later and later, we might drop it. But that's what the first alert is for. If we know, you're going to know. And so right now we know there's going to be rain on Sunday. It could impact your day. So we're just having you circle that for now. And then if that trends later, great. You won't have to worry about anything on your Sunday, whether you're running errands, heading to church, anything you're doing on Sunday. But for right now, just because we do see rain in the forecast, we're going to give you that first alert. And then our next one will come next week. It does look like we will pick up another potentially half an inch to an inch and a half of rain. So we're just adding on to the totals as we head into February, round out January, head into February, which starts next week, if you can believe it. Usually January is a very slow month because there's not a lot going on, right? But this seemed to be a very fast January. Is that just setting us up for a very fast 2023? I don't know. But the momentum is moving over here in January so far because we're already heading into February next week. But anyway, maybe an inch of rain, inch and a half of rain possible with some locally heavy amounts possible as well. Here's a look at your temperatures the next 6 days. So we're going to stay near average, a couple of days above average as we head into next week ahead of our next weather system. Keep in mind the mornings are going to stay pretty cold as we head through the end of the week and start of the weekend. So if you're an early riser, you head out early in the morning over the next few days, whether it be for work or as you're kicking off your weekend. Maybe you are what my mom would call an overachiever. You get up and work out really early on Saturday morning. Maybe you're a runner or something. You are going to need to bundle up. I probably wouldn't do outdoor activities very early on Saturday just because of the temperature. It's going to be freezing. And then we'll head into the start of next week with pretty mild temperatures, actually. Our normal low is 36, so to be in the 40s like that, it'll be pretty mild for this time of year. But the good thing is, if you are tired of the cold weather, I've been telling everybody, I like the cold weather for like a couple weeks, and then I'm ready for it to go. And it does look like we'll have warmer than normal weather as we head into the second half of next week, which would be nice because this takes the average of the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. So you take the average of the next, I guess, 10 days, and it looks like we will be warmer, which would be nice. I would take that. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. It is going to be a windy day today, if it will pull up. Let's see if this will work for me. There we go. So we do have the first alert for rain, and we're going to drop that rain chance. That rain chance will continue to drop through the rest of the day. Honestly, now it's probably more like 20%. And then as we head into tomorrow morning, cold, it is going to be windy, so those 40s are going to feel more like the low 40s, upper 30s through the day tomorrow. Friday will be beautiful, sunny, breezy, wonderful. Cold morning though. Mornings will stay below freezing Friday and Saturday. Clouds build on Saturday. We'll be in the mid 50s. Sunday, we do have that first alert. Again, we might drop the first alert for Sunday depending on the timing of that rain. Right now, it looks like it could potentially impact some of your day on Sunday, but that's something we're watching. And then as we head into next week, we do have rain in the forecast continuing. Monday, a few stray showers, but for the most part, we're dry. And then rain returns on Tuesday as well, about a 40% coverage, because right now models are thinking either Tuesday or Wednesday for our next time frame for our next weather system. So until we have a better handle on that, we'll keep about a 40% coverage of rain for Tuesday. Enjoy the day today. If you are wearing a hat, if you're a hat person, hold on to it. It's going to be very windy. We will see at least peaks of sunshine today, so while it looks really dreary out there right now, it's probably pretty unmotivating out there. We'll at least see some peaks of sunshine today, and then more sunshine returns for Friday and tomorrow as well, just a little bit at least tomorrow. Look out if you're in our far northern counties for maybe a few flurries tomorrow. Keep the coat handy. It's going to be quite cold the next few days, especially in the morning. And then we'll look ahead to that rain chance on Sunday, which hopefully will continue to trend later, so it won't impact any of your weekend plans. Be careful out there on the roads today. Of course, not only now that the rain is gone, the road should start to dry out. It was a mess this morning. But with the wind, you have to be really careful, especially with those high-profile vehicles. So if you're driving near semi-trucks or anything like that, just be really, really vigilant, because when you have wind gusts upwards of 35, 40 miles per hour, it can be a little more dangerous. Of course, that's a pretty big hazard for those higher profile cars, so just be careful as you're driving out and about today. All right, everyone, I hope you make it a wonderful Wednesday, and we'll catch you guys here next time. Thanks for tuning in.